God damn it!
Get off my car, bird shit.
Ah! Shredder's Revenge is a classic throwback to not only arcade side-scrolling beat-em-ups, but to nostalgic fans of the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons way back in the 1980s. I love this game so much. It's probably the only reason why I'm even making this review, otherwise I wouldn't have even bothered, since I am pretty busy these days. It's little games like this, though, that bring back a lost love I once had when gaming was a much simpler time. No season pass, no microtransactions, no live service bullshit, just straight up, short but sweet, old school fun. It is a game that was made with purely good intentions. It's a solid love letter to nostalgic fans like myself. There doesn't need to be anything innovative about it, because that's not the point. It's not supposed to be. It knows who its audiences are, longtime TMNT fans or longtime retro beat-em-up fans. I fall into both of those categories actually, and if you do too, you absolutely need to get your hands on this game. It's a no-brainer. I could literally end the review right here if I wanted to. Get Shredder's Revenge. But you might be wondering, just how in-depth is the gameplay and the fighting? Well, I'll try to break it all down for you. Like most traditional beat-em-ups, the game has many different moves, ranging from ground combos to aerial and slide attacks, to throwing, to even built-up special power attacks. You get to choose between 6 characters initially, the 4 turtles plus Master Splinter and April. In story mode, each one of these fighters have their own unique strengths and weaknesses across range, speed, and power, with Leonardo being the most balanced of them all. You can level up over time to make them more and more powerful and open up better moves in combat. This does a great job of keeping the actual gameplay feel fresh and exciting the more you play. The game is split into 16 chapters that are immediately replayable as you progress through them. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. This game has
16 times the
chapters, all of them broken up in this funny drivable open hub that kind of reminds me of the one in Super Mario World. Among these stages in the story mode are also collectible requests from various cameo characters that you save throughout your playthrough, and they will ask you to find a number of a specific item and bring them back for some easy extra points. Since high scores don't really mean much to me, the only real incentive for me to go out of my own way to help these colorful characters is a PS4 trophy. But they are all very simple and straightforward side objectives that really don't take up much of your time as long as you explore and break everything you see in each stage. The game also does a perfect job of letting you know what you missed the last time you cleared a level, giving you a great statistic page on your journal. There are also some extra challenges to do, but I'm probably not quite good enough at these kinds of games to do them all. When playing, you get to choose to play alone or host your own public or private game, as well as join other public lobbies. I actually find it really impressive that the game allows up to 6 players in co-op at a time, but I think it may just be too much for me. Not that I consider it a complaint, but I definitely prefer playing either with just 1 or 2 other people. There's just way too much happening on the same screen when there's 6 that very often I forget which one I'm playing as. It's like Where's Waldo, except I'm playing as him. You really gotta keep your eye on your guy, otherwise you won't even know where you are or what you're doing. Even glancing at my health bar for a second, have I lost my bearings a few times. But like I said, it's a personal preference that I actually enjoy it more when only playing on teams of 2 or 3. It is really awesome that you can have almost the entire roster of characters fighting together at once. But even when playing alone, the game doesn't feel less exciting. When you beat the final chapter of the game, either in your own game or skipping ahead in someone else's like I did by accident, you unlock Casey Jones. It says he has 1 extra stat point than the rest, but when I play as him, I don't quite feel overpowered with that extra range that Leo doesn't have. Honestly, I just prefer playing as Leo. He feels the best to play to me. I know I must sound like a broken record, but I just can't get over how much cool fan service this game has, on top of the already nostalgic levels like these obstacle chases that remind me of Battletoads and maybe a few other older games. I love how pizza is the healing item. Speaking of which, remember those pizza monsters from the classic Turtles cartoons? God, I haven't thought about them since I was a little kid, but they're in here. Talk about a blast from the past. Of course, you also have to have Krang in there as a major villain, the colossal statue of tyranny that shoots laser beams, and obviously the big bad Shredder himself, and... oh my god. Super Shredder? From the second movie? Oh, okay, now this game really kicks major turtle shell.
Let's kick some shell!
After conquering the story mode, you can tackle the more challenging arcade mode. It's basically the same as story with the same levels, only this time you have limited lives, and there is no map or side quest, but the collectibles that are otherwise found in the story are replaced by bonus points that can slowly help you get extra lives over time. I actually managed to beat arcade by myself without using a continue. I did have it on easy though. I did want to play arcade with others, but it didn't seem like anyone was playing. It seemed dead on arrival in that mode. Now, speaking of difficulty, here's where I want to start addressing a couple legit complaints I have with the game. The difficulty itself is fine. What isn't fine is not being able to change the difficulty of the story at all, unless you choose to start all over. I'm afraid that doing so would overwrite all the progress I've made. Not cool, bro. There was one time where a boss just glitched out and left me and another player hanging, so we had to back out and I had to play the level all over again. And a couple bosses do feel like the hit detection is a little messed up, but other than that, the controls are very tight and responsive. Those minor problems aside, Shredder's Revenge is still an incredibly well-designed action beat-em-up that caters to all kinds of crowds, ranging from fans of that old classic genre, fans of the Turtles franchise, people who want to try something that reminds them of a simpler time in gaming, perhaps a nostalgic trip down memory lane, or friends who simply want to play a top-notch co-op experience. My final score for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is an easy 9 out of 10. It is by far one of the best games I've played all year, and when I first saw it during the Summer Game Fest, I knew right then and there that it would be such a treat. It's very faithful to both the source material of classic TMNT animation, but also to old school retro beat-em-ups. I highly recommend it. And to prevent myself from repeating the same message in 10 different sentences because I suck at professional review writing, here's the ending. You made it. Congratulations. And thank you for watching.
The Gamer Gods!
Oh yeah, I also like how you can throw enemies at the screen.